Okay, this is the interactive advanced concept presentation 5. So pretty much it's about penny oxidation. Pretty much for the description is saying that many of these things that we use in our daily life constantly rust. So today we're going to do like a reverse effect on some pennies and then discuss what reactions going on. They did give an example. So some of the instructions include, for this experiment, you'll need pennies, and I'll go over those supplies we have. Pennies, water, salt, and vinegar. Design a 5 to 10 minute presentation showing both of your experiment and a controlled experiment and why it's happening. We need to find the reaction that is happening that removes the rust. Now, not all of experiments will work, but if it fails, we need to populate what the cause is. So let's get started. So based on the video, some of the supplies that we're going to need is a spoon, a clear kind of cup, paper towel, some tap water. I label it tap water. A fourth of vinegar. Oh, sorry. Some bolts, nuts or bolts. Some pennies that I found laying around the house, and a couple couches, and some salt. Another thing that was not really like suggested, but maybe should be, is that I have like a stopwatch to kind of see how fast or how slow this reaction happens. So starting with this experiment, we're going to mix in that fourth a cup, 1/4 of vinegar. That's like this. We're gonna do our teaspoon, because this is a teaspoon, of salt. And we're gonna mix it up. Kind of like so. Still mixing it up until it completely dissolves. Kind of like this. It kind of dissolved. A little bit more. Dissolved. Okay. So next what we're going to do is take a couple pennies. I'm trying to find the dirty ones. I never specified how much, but I'm taking a couple pennies. And so what I was going to do on the side is just go ahead and record and see how much time it's going to take for it to actually start oxidizing. Because I guess like what's supposed to happen is once we put these coins, these dirty pennies, into this vinegar and salt mixture, it's supposed to oxidize, like break down that that copper oxide, so that it can go ahead and clean up all the rust. So starting in 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay, so it's not even like, it's only 8 seconds, and it literally looks like it's starting to do the oxidation process. So this is like a penny that is, I don't know, and even at a minute mark, like it looks like all of it has been oxidized. So next what we're going to do is we're going to take these out and we're going to put it in the water. So by us taking it out and removing from the mixture and putting it in water, it kind of like stops the actual what do you call it? It stops the actual like cleanup or the oxidizing process. So I'm going to take these from here and putting it into the tap water so it can stop what it's trying to do. And even so, okay, so remember this is our like kind of dirtiest penny and our clean penny. So they're kind of, from the left is going to be our dirty one. All right, so for the next experiment, we have our nuts and bolts in here, and we're going to dip it into the same solution that we did our salt, vinegar, and our dirty pennies. Now, what's supposed to happen is there's supposed to be like this reaction where it's supposed to get dark because of the fact that all that dirt that was cleaned off our clean pennies is still in there, so it will attract to these bolts. So here we go. I'm gonna actually restart my timer to see how fast this happens. 3, 2, 1, starting now. So this is supposed to be our nuts and bolts. It is now, let me turn on my brightness. It is now 30 seconds, and so far nothing much I haven't seen it get dark at all. It's gotten a little bit dark, and I want to say kind of like around this area. Just a little bit though. As you can see, yeah, see, it got a little darker. Let me see. It got a little bit darker than before. So that's like the before, that's the after. And then something compared to like this is like a before. So this is like a before and after. Now you can see that there's a contrast. So kind of from my phone cam, these are all the dirty ones. And this is a timer to kind of see how fast or how quickly this can happen. So remember, this time we're not going to. So kind of from my phone cam, these are all the dirty ones. And this is a timer to kind of see how fast or how quickly this can happen. So remember, this time I'm not putting it in water. What I will go ahead and do is I will put it on my paper towel and see how it's supposed to what reaction I'm supposed to get. So ideally what I should be getting is, like, based on like the video, a bluish kind of green thing, only because I guess like while we're putting it in the mixture, it's kind of that what do you call it, the copper layer is getting kind of, I believe it's kind of getting stripped away. So therefore there can be room for oxygen to bind to it. And because of that oxygen and that chloride from our little salt mixture, it's creating this atmosphere to where we have some type of color change. Okay, so it's been kind of about a minute. I'm going to take some of these and we're going to put them down here. So I am just laying our clean pennies out on the paper towel, and we are going to see, and they're really clean too, how quickly our concoction can change. It's already, as you can tell, see, it's already starting right over here. Yes, some of these pennies already have a start process to it already. So instead of stopping the reaction, it's still kind of going, but it's having a little bit of a color change. So over here, as you can see, it's starting to happen. Yeah, this one, there's definitely something happening. So just to kind of do a recap of everything that had happened during this experiment. So for when we put the pennies into that concoction with the salt and the vinegar, what that was happening was it was kind of breaking down that rust, breaking down that copper oxide to clean it. And when we put the pennies from there into the concoction, into the water, it actually stopped or ceased the reaction. For the darkening of the bolts, that happened because all that I guess like debris or breakdown that was still on the that copper from the pennies actually was attached to that darkening the color of it. And then last. Okay, so for the third experiment, with the color change, what happened was that's when we moved we put the pennies back in the mixture, and instead of putting in the water to stop the reaction, we put it on a paper towel to go ahead and let it, to not stop the reaction. And from that, we had this like chemical change of where we had, I don't know if it's called like even more breakdown or more like cleansiness, not really cleansiness, but like it created like this color change. And so for the reaction that happens to remove the rust, I kind of wrote it down on my board, or what was right. So it's kind of like the almost a little bit too